is discussion and possible action regarding potential proposed amendments to the city charter for November 2026 special election. Members, here's what my I want to lay out kind of a proposal for a time frame and a process. And I will also indicate that I'll put this up on the message board today so that anybody that's wanting to look at it will be able to see it. But here's the proposal. It's a schedule and suggested process. July 20th, which is today, we have people that are able to speak, but nobody signed up to speak on this. Is that right? If anybody wants to propose any new amendments from this committee today, they can do that. You have had in your packet a group of proposals, and those are proposals that have been previously passed by the council but didn't go on to an election. They were not put on the ballot. In addition to that, we have one petition-driven amendment, and then there is one amendment that has been proposed by Councilmember Alter. And for the record, the charter review, the staff and charter review commission proposed amendments that are moving forward in this process were approved by council in 2024. We can take action today to make a recommendation to the full council or just send these to the full council. The second step in the process would be on July 28th. At that council meeting at 10 o'clock, council will hold a public hearing on the proposed charter amendments for the November 2026 ballot. No action will be taken by council on that date. That would be a public hearing only. And the purpose of the public hearing is for a general people to say what they ought to think, they think ought to be on the agenda, on the ballot, or what they think shouldn't be on the ballot. People will have, and it's not going into the specificity of each one of the potential ballot items. It's just, here's what I think about what ought to go on the ballot, and here's what I think shouldn't go on the ballot. We'll have our standard rules with regard to that. The backup for the meeting will include any recommendations this committee makes for amendments from staff and the Charter Review Commission, the petition amendment, or any new amendments that come forward. July 30th will be a council meeting, and at 10 o'clock on that date, council will take up all of the recommendations that we make going forward, we provide, the petitioned amendment, and any new amendments. Registered speakers will be able to testify on each individual amendment. It'll be our standard way of doing that, but it's going to be set up by the clerk's office that people will be able to talk about every one of the potential amendments that's going on. That will be the opportunity to talk about every one of those. Then on August 6th, the agenda will have 3 items related to the November 2026 election. One will be approval of an ordinance ordering the general election. One will be approving an ordinance ordering a special charter amendment election, and one approving an ordinance ordering a special bond election if necessary. The charter amendment ordinance will be prepared based on the vote at the July 30th council meeting. Again, a meeting where people will have the opportunity to testify as to each individual item. And again, speakers will follow our standard rules in that regard. So I wanted to lay that out. With that being said, and again, I'm going to post this on the message board today so that everybody will have all of this information. I want to turn to the members of the committee and ask if you want to go forward with making recommendations that this move forward, where what we would be moving forward would be staff and Charter Review Commission proposed amendments, those that were approved by the council back in 2024, the certified petition that calls for a charter amendment, and a proposed amendment that Councilmember Alter has brought forward. Councilmember Alter.
I have a question for staff just about the first portion of that, the ones that were previously adopted. Can you just outline for us, and there are two different forms of this in the backup, but any proposed charter amendment, and you can just do it by the number and kind of give us a highlight, that was not from the Charter Review Commission. So are there any in here that don't come from that?
Good morning, Wajiha Rizvi, Assistant City Attorney. So yes, the only if you're looking at the document that's titled Staff and Council Proposed Amendments, so not the red line document, the only Charter Review Commission recommendations are 4, 5, and 6. Everything else is a staff proposed recommendation that was approved. Well, all but one, sorry about that. There is one that was proposed by council, and that is number, 12, I believe. Yes, number 12. So with the exception of 4, 5, 6, and 12, everything else is staff. Does that help?
That does. So 4 is the, can you just
Sure.
super quick of each of those that are the charter review?
Yes.
items?
So the Charter Review Commission recommendations that were approved by council in 2024 have to do with, and give me a second, I'm just scrolling. So the one stating, shall the city charter be amended to provide that initiative elections and petitioned charter amendment elections be held on the next available November election date that occurs in an even numbered year,
Okay.
and that allows sufficient time to comply with other requirements of the law. The next one is, shall the city charter be amended to provide that a petition for an election to recall a city council member other than the mayor must contain valid signatures of at least 15% of the qualified voters instead of the current 10%. And then I apologize, I misspoke. It's actually 5, 6, and 7. And the 7th one coming from the Charter Review Commission, that's, shall the city charter be amended to provide that the city council appoints and removes the city attorney.
Okay. Very good. I just wanted to clarify that. As it relates to the motion, I'm not going to move forward with my.
Okay.
There are a lot of unknowns in the direction that could go, and I'd like to
Fair enough.
have that conversation more.
Good. And for the public, let me be clear. What we're doing is, if we move forward, what we're moving forward would be those proposed amendments that were previously moved forward by the council but didn't go onto the ballot in 2024, and a proposed charter amendment that would go on by way of a certified petition. That will require everything I just walked through in terms of hearing from the public, including the public's opportunity to speak as to each individual item as well. But the motion will now not include the proposal, the different proposal by Councilmember Alter. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mayor. In our recent review of the departments that we directly supervise, and in also Councilmember Velasquez has an item that he's considering potentially adding to that list. I know that the municipal clerk is one of the offices that is in the charter and that's subject to direct council oversight, appointment, review, whatnot. I just wanted to bring up the idea of having that be a city manager supervised position, and just really wanted to ask. I don't think that is standard practice across cities that I'm familiar with, having the municipal court clerk directly under the the city councils, and I just wanted to ask if there's any kind of background or history or purpose or whatnot that as to why that position in particular is under the council kind of purview.
I'm not aware of any context around why that is. I'm happy to
They can
defer
do
to
some
others.
research.
Mike.
So the good news is the July 28th council meeting, we're going to have the public hearing. And that purpose of that public hearing is to hear from the public about proposals for new ideas, that sort of thing. Council, between now and then, can also bring forward new ideas. And that would give opportunity for staff to get an answer.
I just wanted to air that publicly. It's something that I've been thinking about, that I've discussed a bit, especially if we're going to be, for example, adding the city attorney to the direct hire. I just want to be very conscious of the workload and the number of kind of direct review folks that we have for council. And I know that, again, the city clerk we work with every day, all the time. We work in constant communication. I understand the municipal court clerk, not so much. And my sense would be, and again, this is not a criticism or anything like that. It's that I think the city manager and the assistant city manager would probably be in better position to provide real kind of oversight and feedback and management than council, who does not really interact with the municipal court clerk on a daily basis. I interacted with the municipal court clerk more when I was a criminal defense attorney than as a city council member. So I just wanted to air that out. I look forward to hearing, if y'all could, a little bit of background, history, and purpose on why the municipal court clerk is a city council appointed and supervised position. Thank you.
But you raise another point that I want to really clarify. August 6th is when the council will need to approve an ordinance ordering the general election. And that's what that will be, is at that point in time, we will have heard from the public about what they think ought to go on or what they think ought to be off. We will have heard at the July 30th meeting individual comment about each individual proposed item. So that means that if a member of the council or a member of the public through a member of the council wants to put something on that potential ballot, it's time to get on your horse, because July 28th will be an opportunity for people to talk about what they want. And then with quick turnaround, we will offer up those possibilities on the July 30th agenda so that people will be able to talk about them individually. So, and then August 6th, we will vote on what the ballot looks like. Okay? Councilmember Alter moves that we recommend to the full city council, and this is for purpose of creating what we will have the public hearings and public testimony on, the recommendations of the staff and charter review commission's proposed amendments that were approved by the council in 2024, and the proposed amendment to the charter that is here by virtue of a certified petition. Is there a second? Seconded by the Mayor Pro Tem. Discussion. Councilmember Ducey, do you have discussion? Okay. Without objection, that motion is adopted. You all clear? Great. Thank you very much. And by the way, I'll say it again. I will be posting on the message board the outline of how we'll conduct all these meetings going forward until we have called an election. That'll take us to item number